It's a rainy night in Toronto at Rogers Center. The roof is closed. The Yankees are in town. The Yankees one win away from clinching their spot in the postseason. Hello, everybody. I'm Buck Martinez along with Pat Tabler. And Pat, over the weekend, the Blue Jays swept the Baltimore Orioles. For the season, they went 9-0 against Baltimore in this ballpark. But one thing is starting to develop. There's some bad blood developing between the Orioles and the Blue Jays over the way the Orioles are pitching Jose Bautista.
Well, Jose Bautista knows better than anybody. If you're going to hit 50 home runs, pitchers are going to pitch you differently. They're going to come inside. They're going to try and intimidate you. Yesterday, Vanderhurt comes up and in, hits him on the forearm. Same thing with Simon, the pitcher. Now, Bautista knows that they're going to try and jam him. This happened earlier in the season. The Yankees came into town and tried to jam him. They throw one up and in. What's the best way to defeat that when a pitcher tries to throw up and in? How about go yard against David Robertson?
Well, that's the one thing to stop. And once you let pitchers know you can be intimidated, you're going to be on your ground all the time. The one thing about Jose Bautista is this season against New York, he has worn out the Yankees with 6 home runs.
Well, the Yankee pitchers love the fastball. We all know that. Jose Bautista is a very good fastball hitter. A 320 average is 6 home runs, 2 of them against A.J. Burnett. In this game, he just couldn't command his fastball. He couldn't get it down and really didn't have that 97, 98 mile an hour fastball that we have seen from Burnett before. Bautista turned 2 of them around a long distance.
Jose Bautista's never seen a fastball he didn't like. Tonight, Mark Zepchinski will go up against the Yankees. Zepchinski last time out, 6 1/3, 7 hits. He beat the Mariners, looking for his first win against the Yankees.
Brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Yesterday, Cito Gaston took Aaron Hill out of the ballgame in the 7th inning and then had a conversation with him in the dugout. And you could see the tenor of the conversation is very relaxed. It's almost as if Cito Gaston is serving as a mentor again, talking about Aaron Hill. And you've got to believe the root of the conversation is last year compared to this year. Hill last year, of course, 36 homers, 108 RBIs, got off to a bad start this season, and I think more than anything, he was just kind of talking to him about keeping his head up. For more on that, let's check in with Sam Cosentino.
Well, Buck, the conversation went a little like this. After that at bat in which he popped out to center field, it turned out to be a double play. Cito Gaston went to Aaron Hill and said, hey, I'm going to give you the rest of the day off. You're going to get tomorrow off, meaning today as well. You'll be back in the lineup the next day. At that point, Aaron Hill said, hey, I apologize for an average in the 200 range. Cito Gaston said, no, not at all. Without you, we couldn't have won the 80 games we won to this point, and the production numbers are still very, very good. So nothing newsworthy going on there. Aaron Hill getting a little breather in yesterday's game. Another one here today. He'll be back in the lineup tomorrow. Buck?
Thanks, Sam. And the one thing, Pat, sometimes you get mentally overloaded.
Yeah, and I think Aaron Hill beats himself up a lot because he cares so much about the ball club. He cares about helping the team win a lot. And when you're not doing well, he has a tendency to get on himself a little bit too hard. So a little bit of a mental break for Aaron Hill tonight.
Well, the Blue Jays own the season series to this point. They've won 8 of the 15 games against Joe Girardi's Yankees. The Yankees trying to secure their spot in the postseason. One more win will do that for New York. Take a look at their lineup. Jeter, Swisher, Teixeira, top of the order. The cleanup hitter, Alex Rodriguez, 4 home runs in his last 8 at-bats, making another surge for that 30 home run plateau. Last year, he hit 2 home runs and drove in 7 runs on the last day of the season to match his streak of 3,100 for a consecutive run at 12, trying to make it 13 in a row here this year.
Tough lineup for Mark Zepchinski tonight. Pitched much better his last time to the mound, matching a season high with 8 strikeouts, pitching into the 7th inning and beating the Mariners. That snapped a 6-start winless drought for Zepchinski. 2 of those outings during that stretch were against the Yankees. 4 career starts versus New York. Zepchinski is 0-2. One of those losses coming this year when he was knocked out early in a game. The other one was on September the 4th when he picked up a no decision against New York.
It's a veteran lineup, and Derek Jeter will lead things off back in the leadoff spot for Jeter this year. He has been back and forth, occasionally to the second spot. 17 times he's hit second in the lineup. This is his 134th start leading off. Just 2 for 11 in his last 3 games. Mark Zepchinski looking for his 3rd win of the season. And that's not a good start. Caught his spike on the mound before he could deliver that pitch. Last time we saw Zepchinski hold on to a ball through this delivery and actually made a balk. But this time you can see he's caught his spikes on the mound.
Right in the front. When that front foot was trying to land for Zepchinski, it got caught in the clay part of the mound, and there was no give to it.
Comes right back and throws the first pitch straight.
You know, he lets that pitch go, and that's a ball. So heads up play there to hold on to it. Make sure that he doesn't fall behind 1-0.
Right back to Zepchinski. The first base. 1 up, 1 down.
Tonight's scouting report is brought to you by TD Bank. Banking can be this comfortable. Mark Zepchinski pitches have good movement. All of them. Fastball, the slider, his curveball, and his changeup. And I think he needs to pitch ahead. He had first pitch strikes in 19 of the 28 batters in his last start against the Mariners. And right is wrong. He has pitched very well against lefties. Righties have given him trouble this year, hitting over 325 against them. That's why the Yankees have so many right-handed hitters in their lineup tonight.
Nick Swisher will bat as a right-handed hitter. The switch hitter steps in against Zepchinski. There's another first pitch strike. That ball's got some kind of glue on it or something. You see that John Buck just threw it to shortstop.
Got a little bit too much pine tar on that.
And I know we passed the full moon. 1 out to Swisher. We got all kinds of things going on here. Ball rattling around over near the third base coaching box. Rob Thompson flips it out of play. Now we'll try it again.
Nothing to get your pitcher out of rhythm very quickly. Baseball's flying all over the place.
Zepchinski started it. Watch John Buck. as he tries to throw it back to the mound.
Good first pitch strike and ground ball to short.
2 balls and a strike to Nick Swisher. Swisher's had another outstanding season, 28 homers and 88 driven in, and he's hit Mark Zepchinski. 3-1.
You know, we talk about the Blue Jays and all the home runs that they have hit this year. The Yankees power packed also. They have 5 players with at least 20 home runs, Swisher being one of them with those 28. So they've got power also that can match up with the Blue Jays.
Off the end of the bat, Vernon Wells jogs in, makes the catch, 2 outs.
Defensively for the Blue Jays, they are 4th in the American League in fielding percentage. Here is how they will line up tonight. Snyder, Wells, and Bautista with his 12 assists will form the outfield. Encarnacion, Escobar, Johnny Mack with his 16th start at second base tonight. Aaron Hill with the night off. Overbay battery tonight. Zepchinski and John Buck behind the plate.
Teixeira, the first baseman, takes the ball down. Teixeira's been battling a couple of different injuries, but you can see he's come through in the second half against the Blue Jays. 14 RBI in 15 games. Most of those numbers he put up in the second half.
Boy, he got off to a miserable start this year. Not just April, but it continued into May. But once he got started, you knew by the end of the year he'd be 30 and 100.
Zepchinski's fallen out of his delivery a couple of times in the city. 2 balls and a strike to Teixeira. Blue Jays really handled Teixeira well early in the season, throwing him a steady diet of off-speed pitches.
When he did get a fastball, it wasn't anywhere close to the strike zone.
But like he's always done, he has bounced back with a strong second half.
Changeups really had him way out in front. There was a game here earlier this year where Teixeira struck out 5 times against the Blue Jays.
2-2 on the ground to third. Encarnacion, couple of steps, bounces it and throws it in the dirt. A little bit too deliberate, possibly. Encarnacion will be charged with the air. That keeps the inning alive and brings the ever-dangerous Alex Rodriguez to the plate.
Yeah, number 17 on the year for Encarnacion. And the thing about the Blue Jays against the Yankees really take advantage of mistakes, and that's a big one. Bounces it, hits the seam right in front of the dirt. This is one of the things that Encarnacion's been trying to work on. Keep your feet moving and throw through the ball. That time it sunk on him, and Overbay goes down to get it, thinks he should have it, but just can't come up with it. Teixeira keeps the inning alive.
Alex Rodriguez. Well, another thing it does too, not only does it bring Rodriguez to the plate, but it adds to the first inning pitch count for Zepchinski.
And it was very good through the first 3 batters. Would have been a 3 up and 3 down. Give him a little bit more information to look at too.
Ball in the strike to Alex Rodriguez. Both for 4 against Zepchinski. You mentioned Rodriguez with 29 home runs. Been on a home run tear of late. Went too far. Good breaking ball. Rodriguez strikes out. He wants an appeal. He's not going to get it. Jeff Nelson said, I saw it all the way. So the air doesn't cost the Blue Jays. Alex Rodriguez chases a breaking ball down and in, and the Yankees go down quietly in the first. .500, trying to clinch a .500 season with a win here tonight. Vernon Wells in the cleanup spot. Good numbers against A.J. Burnett. We talked about Wells' ability to get to that first pitch fastball. Burnett will have to do something other than that if he's going to cool off Vernon Wells.
Wells has great numbers against Burnett. And of the 5 Yankee starters, A.J. Burnett is the only one with a losing record. 10-14 with an ERA over 5, and it's been very shaky on the mound of late. Had his last outing cut short by a rain delay in the 3rd inning. Yankees need to get him back on track. Since the start of August, Burnett has not been very good. A 1-6 bloated ERA. And one of the problems is trying to keep the ball in the ballpark. Giving up 22 home runs this year.
4th start against the Blue Jays for Burnett. Travis Snider will lead things off. Blue Jays have also hit 5 home runs against Burnett. He has a 7.27 ERA against the Blue Jays this season.
3 starts and they have beaten him twice. He's 0-2 against them this year.
Ball on the strike to Snider. Snyder's getting a steady dose of playing time here at the end of the season. Good opportunity for him to get some consistent repetitions at the plate.
And for a young player, every game is important because it's knowledge. You're learning pitchers, you're learning the league, and you can really show the organization what you're made of if you get to that finish line on a dead sprint.
Left field line. This ball is slicing away from Kearns. It's a fair ball. It'll bounce out of play for a ground rule double. So the Blue Jays start with an opposite field ground rule double off the bat of Travis Snider.
Starting to show the ability to go the other way as Travis Snider tracks that fastball going down and away from him. He's starting to hit the ball like he did back in May from foul line to foul line. This time the ball just kept slicing away from Austin Kearns. Kearns is a good outfielder, but a natural right fielder. This ball, he had no chance as it bounces into the stands for extra bases.
Shortstop Janelle Escobar. Done a good job of moving the base runners from second. Pitch on the outside corner at 96. There's no problem with A.J. Burnett's velocity. His success directly correlated to his ability to locate his fastball.
Yeah, he has to locate his fastball. He has to throw his breaking ball for strikes. You take that very dominant pitch away from him, and you can hit him.
On the ground, that'll do the job. Tano at second. Retires Escobar, but Escobar does his job, advancing Snider to third.
Get it to the right side. Good job by Escobar. Let's take a look at the scouting report for A.J. Burnett. We have seen him. This is his 12th year in the big leagues. He's got that big league heat, 97. I think he needs to change speeds a little bit more with that very good fastball. The curve can be dominant when he throws it over. And he's had lots of base runners this year. Buck, 178 in the 3rd innings pitched. He's had 276 base runners that he's had to count for. That's why that ERA is up over 5.
Jose Bautista got the fastball just off the end of the bat. 9 home runs in his last 18 games.
He really put a couple of good swings the last time that they faced each other, Burnett and Bautista. Burnett looks like he's going to want to reach back and try and pick up a strikeout here. That last fastball a little bit harder than the ones we saw before.
0-1. Breaking ball on the ground. Jeter will go to first. The Blue Jays will take a lead. A manufactured run in the first inning. It's 1-0 Blue Jays. Snider with the leadoff double scores the first run of the ballgame.
You know, hitting home runs is great, and we have seen that from this team, but you have to manufacture runs at some point. A leadoff double, and then the Blue Jays don't get the ball out of the infield. The next 2 batters who grab the lead. RBI number 119 for Jose Bautista.
Great job just taking advantage of the infield back, put the ball in play, and you're guaranteed an RBI. 2 outs. Count in the favor of Wells.
I've always felt that Burnett's got that great fastball, but if he ever came up with a pitch where he can take a little bit something off that fastball, a lot like what the Blue Jay starters do, they've got a great changeup. And he started to get a changeup when he was here with Brad Arnsberg, trying to sink the ball just a little bit more.
Foul tip. Wells got the bat out too far and got a piece of it.
He watched Halladay for years over here and saw how Halladay went about his business. His stuff might be better than Roy Halladay's when it comes to pure stuff, curveball, fastball. Halladay can sink the ball and do a little bit more things to it.
Line drive in the center. Granderson's not going to get it. It's down for a base hit. Wells, big turnaround first, but he'll stop there. 2-out single for Vernon Wells.
The curveball is a big pitch for Burnett, and it can be dominant, but this is a hanger. Right over the middle of the plate, about belt high. Lucky that this ball didn't leave the ballpark. Wells pounds it into center field for a base hit.
Wells is aboard. Niall Overbay. 20th home run over the weekend. Reached that plateau again. 67 RBI for Blue Jays first baseman. Well, you mentioned A.J. Burnett's stuff, how it might be better than Roy Halladay's. It might be better than a lot of guys. I mean, he's got great stuff. Great arm. Always had a great arm. Always had that hard breaking ball. But it's all been about command for A.J. Burnett.
Natural stuff that you can't go out and say, okay, I need you to throw this fastball at 98 and throw it on the black. You can't teach that kind of stuff. That's natural building. Started to get it, I thought, when he was here. Won 18 games his last year with Toronto, and he was really starting to pitch and mix in that third pitch, sinking that fastball, getting himself in 2-0-3-1 fastball counts, taking a little something off and getting the ground ball. It really looked like he had turned the corner as a pitcher.
That's the key word, learning how to pitch. You're adding some track, locating, and creating some movement. Ball on the strike to Overbay. 2 outs. Well, he's a little late getting back there. He's thinking about running, possibly. A.J. Burnett's an easy mark for the stolen base. He is very deliberate to the plate and doesn't give his catchers much of a chance.
Giving up 36 stolen bases this year. So you got to figure that Wells might try and get himself in a scoring position.
Bounce to first. Teixeira comes and gets it. He'll step on the bag to retire Overbay. But the Blue Jays get one in the forward. First inning, a ground out by Jose Bautista. 1-0 Blue Jays. With Robinson Cano, the Yankee second baseman, Jose Bautista, Miguel Cabrera of the Tigers also a front runner. And one name that's probably off this list that we can also talk about is Josh Hamilton. But Bautista has certainly played his way into this picture.
Oh, he certainly has. Now, how can you not vote for a guy with 52 and 119? Really has made the Blue Jays a better offensive team. Robbie Cano, though, 3 errors. He's played 154 of 156 games for the Yankees this year. You saw the great numbers he has. He's going to add a Gold Glove to his resume also with those 3 errors.
I would suggest Cano is going to win the MVP. I think he has had that type of season, especially this time of the year when games are so important. Look at his average over his last 12 games.
Hitting over 600 with the bases loaded this year. Coming up with clutch hits. Plays a premium position at second base. And his team is winning. That's a big part of it also.
Well, I think the consistency that Cano shows both at the plate and in the field, big part of that. Plus the fact that when Alex Rodriguez was out, Robinson Cano hit fourth. Moved him into the cleanup spot. 192 hits on the season for Robinson Cano. Jammed with that fastball. One thing the Blue Jays can be proud of is the way they've handled Cano. Mark Sepchinski has given up 3 hits in 9 at-bats and a home run, but as a team, Cano comes into this game with a 164 average against the Blue Jays.
They have pitched him tough. They have really utilized the changeup to Robinson Cano. He's like Bautista. He can turn on anybody's fastball.
Got it. What a great pitch down and away. Sepchinski strikes out Cano.
Got to really work to get through the middle of the lineup of the Yankees. And Sepchinski with that good heart, looked like a cutter or some type of slider down and away to get a very good hitter. He's got good movement on his pitches. When he is in the zone, he was talking after his last start that he felt like he was a little bit more consistent with his fastball. And then he felt like he could throw his breaking ball at any time in the count against the Mariners. It's a great recipe for success.
Cano continues to have his struggles against the Blue Jays. Here's a gentleman that hasn't struggled too much against Toronto. 480 for the season. Marcus Thames in 8 games. He's hit 3 home runs and driven in 7.
He's also won a couple of games for the Yankees.
He's got the Jays number. Snyder will have to get it back in quickly, and Thames is held to a long single.
That should put him over 300 against left-handers this year. One of the reasons why they got him. He can just wear out the lefties. Stays back and uses his hands, takes that breaking ball and rips it into left field.
Austin Kearns will step in with 1 out and 1 on. You mentioned Sepchinski with that great movement. Sometimes as a catcher, you have to help your pitcher get into the strike zone. You can call location, but you don't move as dramatically with Sepchinski than you might with Markham, a guy that has better control. You just want him to shoot for the big part of the plate and present a big target right behind the plate. That's going to get down, and that's going to be in the gap. Marcus Thames goes around second, headed for third. Austin Kearns will stop at first. Wells did a good job in cutting that ball off.
Boy, he certainly did. That had double written all over it when it left the bat of Austin Kearns. That it was going to go into the gap. You have to have some speed in center field. And Wells does that. Breaking ball away, ripped into right field. Cuts the ball off. He's not going to have a chance to get Thames at third base. He knows it, but he can keep the double play in order. If he can get over there, short hop that ball like he does and get it in very quickly. Kearns had thoughts of trying to make that into second base with a double.
Curtis Granderson bats with runners at the corners. Breaking ball for a strike. Granderson's had quite a turnaround of late. Last 13 games, he's hit 6 homers and driven in 13. Played on a fastball.
What a month of September it has been for Curtis Granderson. He has driven in 21 runs so far this month.
Zebchinski out in front 0-2. Got it. Another good breaking ball. Granderson goes down swinging.
Lefties are hitting 265 against Mark Zebchinski. You can see why. When he can throw his breaking ball right there, that is going to be a tough pitch for anybody to make contact with. Down and away, and he picks up a big strikeout.
So now the catcher, Francisco Cervelli, bounced back a little bit in the month of September with a .320 average. He got off to a great start early in the season, was driving in key runs.
He was hitting about 900 with runners in scoring position at the beginning of the season.
First and third, 2 outs. First pitch strike. Cervelli thought it might have been low. Yankee bench giving Jeff Nelson.
The pitch isn't down. Get used to it. It's right at the knees.
Jeff Nelson reacting very quickly. The dog days of September are here for everybody. Inside, 1-1. Joe Girardi not ready to talk anything about the postseason. He said, when we get in, we'll talk. As far as setting up the rotation, CC Sabathia is scheduled to pitch here tomorrow night. Good breaking ball. A ball and 2 strikes.
Girardi has also said, depending on what they do tonight, Yankees can clinch and get into the playoffs with a win tonight. And he has said if they end up winning the game and getting in, they might change the rotation for the rest of this series. We might not see Sabathia. We might not see Petty. First things first for the Yankees. Let's get in and then we'll decide what to do.
A ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Lays off the high fastball. Zebchinski's got a little bit better fastball tonight than we've seen in the last 2 starts.
Fastball command and throw the breaking ball when you want to.
Fouled off. The breaking ball is pretty good tonight, too.
How much do you attribute 6 men in the starting rotation and an off day to give these young starters a little bit more gas in the tank, if you will, to finish out the season?
This time of the year, it's probably a benefit just because everybody's kind of wearing down, and for guys like Zebchinski and Drabek who haven't pitched an awful lot in September just because minor league seasons are over first week of September, it's probably a benefit for them to have the extra time. Two balls and 2 strikes. 2 on, 2 outs. Cut on and miss. Zebchinski strikes out for Sal. Yankees get a couple of hits. Zebchinski strikes out Cervelli to strand 2 more. Blue Jays lead it 1-0.
game, you can win Sharp Aquos products, including a new HD Quadron TV and Blu-ray player. Enter online at hitahomerunwithsharp.ca. Sharp Aquos with Quadron technology. You have to see it to see it.
It'll be John Buck, Adam Lind, and Edwin Encarnacion to face A.J. Burnett. Bottom of the second. Home run numbers have come back a little bit for him over the last month. He is stuck on a career high 18 home runs in 2007 with the Royals as well. First pitch curveball out of the zone. Unless A.J. Burnett shows the Blue Jays he can throw that curveball for strikes, they're just going to wipe it on their mindset.
Yeah, don't even look for it until you get to 2 strikes. We have seen teams throw breaking balls to John Buck, the first pitch, for the last 6 weeks, 2 months or so. Every first pitch has been a breaking ball. Now he falls behind. Let's see if he challenges him.
Pulls that one off the plate outside. 2-0. Out of play.
He has not had a lot of success against his former team. A.J. Burnett, look at his numbers. Over a hit per innings pitched, the home runs. The base on balls, I think, are the most important thing for me. He is 7th in the American League now and walks with 75, and they've really hurt him this year.
2-1 to Buck. Upstairs.
Here at Rogers Center, he's only made 1 start this year and pitched 6 innings and gave up 6 runs. Just did not have the command that I think he needs. Even though he throws in the upper 90s, you still have to be able to throw it where you need to. And he is fighting it right now.
Swinging it dry. This ball is hit a ton. John Buck, home run, number 19. A new career high for John Buck.
Home runs just have a different sound, don't they? 3-1, you know Buck is a very good fastball hitter, and that's exactly what he gets. Something away from him. Fastball, and this ball is clobbered to left field. He knows that he got all of it. He's hit plenty. That he knows that this ball is gone. Number 19.
Big part of the field, the no-doubter. He certainly had enough pitches to get a read on the velocity as A.J. Burnett fell behind him, once again creating a hole for himself with that first pitch breaking ball.
Just get it over. Get me over curveball. And he pulled it out, fell behind. See, that's the difference in A.J. that what we saw a couple of years ago. His last year here in Toronto, he would have tried to sink the ball right there. Sink, take a little something off of it and get the hitter out in front. But he challenged John Buck with a fastball pretty straight and unloaded on him.
Last pitch at 90 with dramatic late movement. Lind in a hole, 0-2. Fights off the breaking ball. John Buck's home run, number 242 for the Blue Jays this season. Just 2 off their franchise mark for home runs in a season. That has given the Blue Jays a 2-0 lead.
They are going to rewrite the record books this season for all the home runs that they've hit.
Another sinking fastball. Lind goes down on strikes. John Buck has established a new personal high with 19 homers in the season, and Blue Jays are just 2 off the franchise record.
2000, they had 244 home runs. Didn't think that Bautista was going to be able to get to 50 home runs, and he did that earlier in the year. I said, wow, 244 home runs. That's a lot of home runs, but it looks like they're going to do that also.
Well, when you think about home runs in the American League East, the first teams you think of are the Yankees and the Red Sox, and the Blue Jays have outslugged those 2 clubs.
And if you dig a little bit deeper in the home runs, most home runs they hit at home, most home runs in the season, most home runs after the All-Star break. I mean, every little home run record is being rewritten this year from this team.
This is a big homestand for the Blue Jays to wrap up with the Yankees. They come into this game with an 8-7 lead over the Yankees in the season series, and the Jays have not won a season series since 2000. So you have to think that that would be a confidence builder if they could do that. Show pops it up. Cano backs up behind second and makes the catch. 2 outs.
Those are some of the little games that we've talked about that you play with yourself. If you're not going to win as a team, there are other little things that you can do. They certainly want to finish over 500 this year. They certainly want to win the season series against the Yankees. To a man, they think about that.
Well, when you think about last season, the way the Cincinnati Reds and the Houston Astros finished up the season in September, they both had great records in September, and they carried that momentum into spring training and on throughout the season. John McDonald swings at the first pitch and pops it a mile high near the mound to Sheriff. There to make the catch. Burnett gets out of the inning, but the Blue Jays add a run. John Buck goes deep. The fastball hits it out of the ballpark. His 19th, a new career high for the Blue Jays catcher. Playoff berth, but look at how they have played the last 20 games. And Pat, I got to believe this is a concern for Joe Girardi.
Yeah, the earned run average of about 5, the losing record over the last 20. They are averaging just over 4 runs a game also. This is a team that comes into this game number 1 in the American League in runs per game. All facets of the game have not been played very well by the Yankees over the last 20. And how about Mariano Rivera?
Given up runs in each of his last 3 outings. He has 3 blown saves since September 11th, and today he was out throwing early in the bullpen. I can't remember the last time I've seen that.
Yeah, he's Mr. Automatic. But he's a professional, and you know he'll be right there.
Derek Jeter grounded back to the mound his first time up. Good off-speed pitch. Jeter chases.
Season high, tying 8 strikeouts his last time out. Mark Zepchinski now rings up number 5 already here in the 3rd inning by turning a ball over to Jeter.
Well, you don't see Jeter chase that pitch down and away. Very good arm action, and Zepchinski really sold it. Nick Swisher, another fine offensive season for the Yankees right fielder. Oh, what a difference first pitch strikes make.
Again, 19 times out of the 28 batters his last time out. He also got 13 ground balls his last time, so his pitches have a lot of movement on them.
Don't you wish you could talk to starting pitchers and explain to them how difficult hitting is?
Yes, because you don't have to be perfect. Every pitch doesn't have to be on the block to get a hitter out.
The ball is driven down the right side, but foul. I think a lot of the younger pitchers that haven't been position players haven't hit, so they don't understand how difficult it is to hit. I think sometimes, and I'm not a big fan of interleague play, but sometimes interleague play can prove to a pitcher who's batting for one of the few times how tough it is to pick up a ball, track it, and try to put it in play.
And I guess the other side of that is if you're hitting and they keep falling behind, you can see the value of pitching ahead.
You just see more pitches, you gain more confidence, you track the ball.
The rhythm at the plate gets a little bit better.
Another strikeout. 4 strikeouts in a row now for Mark Zepchinski. He's got 6 already tonight.
Every one of them swinging also. That's a good sign when you've got a team like the Yankees swinging through your pitches. This looks like the Mark Zepchinski we saw last year when he came up and was just pounding that strike zone and picking up strikeouts. Throwing that breaking ball anytime he wanted.
Out ahead of Teixeira. Backdoor breaking ball missed. He got underneath it a bit. Mark Teixeira, another 100 RBI season. Teixeira's a little banged up right now, and who isn't this time of the year? Everybody's got bruises and nicks and bumps, but Teixeira has a broken toe. It's healing, playing with it. He's also banged up his wrist. He jammed his wrist diving for a ball in Chicago against the White Sox. One and two. Cut on and missed. Teixeira goes down swinging. John Buck throws to first for the strikeout. Mark Zepchinski strikes out the side in the third. He has now struck out 5 in a row. Jeter on the changeup. Swisher goes down on the breaking ball. The same for Teixeira. Mark Zepchinski's locked in. Travis Snyder got things going tonight with an opposite field double. He scored the first run of the ball game. Inside. A little bit of motivation here for the Blue Jays. Nobody, and I don't care when you played or who you were playing with, nobody wants to see a team celebrate on their turf.
Something that the Yankees can do tonight if they win the game. But you're right. A lot of guys used to take it personally.
Yeah. And they would let you know around the clubhouse, too. They would go around the clubhouse and say, hey, we're not letting the Yankees pop the champagne here in Toronto. Jeff Nelson took a pretty good shot to his right arm. And the catcher, Cervelli, gave him an extra couple of minutes to regroup a bit. Again, A.J. Burnett pitching from behind.
Be careful now. Travis Snyder can hit a fastball a long way, too.
Can't hit that one. 3-0. Burnett's just not in a good rhythm. You can see he'll make a couple good pitches and then pull the third pitch way off the plate.
Yeah, and it has been like that for him this year. Got off to a decent start, but then has really struggled the last couple of months. In seasons where he has had 30 starts, and he has 30 starts this year, he has averaged a strikeout an inning. That's the type of power stuff that he had. This year, he's not even averaging a strikeout an inning. Too many base runners, too many times falling behind.
The leadoff walk.
Again, he got off to a decent start. Look at the one-loss record and the earned run average. That's where he was on July the 28th. Well, 10 starts since then. And it started with a game against Toronto when he pitched 4 2/3 innings, gave up 8 earned runs. Next 10 starts, look what he's done. 1-6 with an ERA over 6. 57 innings, 25 walks, and 63 hits. That's a lot of base runners to account for.
Really put pressure on your offense to try to keep up, and you also put pressure on your defense with so many runners on base. Junel Escobar. There goes Snyder, and Escobar has hit. Fans reacting, obviously. Burnett's just struggling with his control. He's been all over the yard tonight.
17 wild pitches and 11 hit batters now this year for Burnett. This one right on the backside for Escobar.
Dave Island is out to talk to A.J. Burnett, and you can see his struggles with command. He and Jeremy Guthrie top of the heap. Santana, Casimir, and Masterson round out the top 5. This is a big concern for the New York Yankees. Their inconsistent starting pitching. Andy Pettit's made 2 starts. His first start against the Orioles last Sunday was a good one, but the subsequent start wasn't. So now they really don't know what they have as they're trying to line up their rotation to get ready for the postseason.
You need 3 really good starters to win in the playoffs. And I think they have that with Sabathia and Hughes. And you're right, there are some question marks.
Jose Bautista, nobody out. Breaking ball over for a strike. You can probably win the postseason with 2 hot pitchers. You figure you just have to win 2 games in each of the 7-game series. If those 2 pitchers win their starts, you're laughing.
You know, it also helps if the games are spread out enough that you can get your number 1 or your number 2 an extra start here or there.
And there's a number 1 right there that is anxious for another kick at the can in the postseason. CC Sabathia scheduled to start tomorrow night. Ball on the strike to Bautista. Big moving fastball. He popped it. RBI ground that went to Jeter in the first inning.
You don't know as a hitter, how hard that is to try and square up a pitch that's coming in the low 90s with movement like that, because you're always geared for that fastball. They turn it over like that, it just upsets your timing a little bit.
Jammed and carrying to left field, but Kearns has got room. Snyder's tagging up at second. And he will stop as Kearns gets it back in quickly. That ball got in the hands of Bautista. He didn't get the head up.
And he still hit it to the warning track in deep left center field. Shows you the kind of bat speed and the power. Watch where he hits this one. Pulls his hands in and didn't get it on the barrel. He knows he misses it. But still drives Kearns all the way to the warning track in left field.
That ball was probably 10 inches off the plate inside. But he opened up and still got the bat to it. Still runners at first and second, now 1 out. Wells drives it to left field. This ball is gone. 3-run home run, Vernon Wells. Another first pitch home run for Vernon.
He loves that first pitch, and when you throw a breaking ball that hangs over the plate, like Burnett did, and he's going to get hurt again. 31 home runs now for Vernon Wells. This is the third 3-run home run this season for Wells, and 3 big runs across the plate.
243 home runs now for the Blue Jays. 1 shy of the franchise record.
We were talking just a couple of batters ago that the Blue Jays are rewriting the record books for home runs. They might have a major league record in terms of percentage of hits this season that are home runs. The highest percentage of hits which are home runs. The Blue Jays right now have the record at over 18% of their base hits are home runs, which is the best so far, beating the 2005 Rangers.
There's a drive to center field. Granderson on the run. He is not going to get it. Up against the wall. Overbay heads into second. A 1-out double for Lyle Overbay.
And it continues for A.J. Burnett here at Rogers Center. The Blue Jays can hit anybody's fastball. I don't care whose it is. They have shown all season long that they can hit a fastball. Burnett tries to throw another one, and this one is right down Broadway. Lyle Overbay in one of those grooves also starting to drive the ball all over the place. Splits Granderson and Kearns with his 36th double.
Runner in scoring position. Overbay's at second for John Buck. He homered off A.J. Burnett his last time up. Right back over Burnett's head. Here comes Overbay in from second. And he scores. That just missed A.J. Burnett.
It certainly did. He threw on the breaking ball his first time up. He's going to challenge him here. Watch this one. That almost got him right in the head. Anderson doesn't have enough of an arm to get Overbay, and it is now 6-0.
A.J. Burnett lost 6-1 last time he pitched at Rogers Center. In that ball game, he allowed 3 Blue Jay home runs. Adam Lynn struck out his last time up. The Blue Jays have been able to sit back and just look for fastballs.
Because they know that he can't get his breaking ball over. And again, he can be very dominant, that breaking ball. But tonight, he just hasn't had the feel for it.
Then chased the breaking ball. Ball into strike. Travis Snyder has scored twice tonight. 2 home runs in the game. Wells his 31st, Buck his 19th. 243 home runs on the season for the Blue Jays. high breaking ball. Jonathan Albaladejo and Dustin Mosley loosening up. Mosley was scheduled to start last night against the Red Sox, and Joe Girardi had a change of heart, put Phil Hughes in that spot. Hammered into right field. John Buck will go around second. He's headed for third.
Well, he's not fooling anybody. Everybody who has hit this inning has had good swings against A.J. Burnett. Wells homer, then double by Overbase, single by Buck, and now Adam Lynn, another breaking ball, stays back on it, waits on it, and rips it by Teixeira. Teixeira almost comes up with him out acrobatic play. But it's by him and allows Buck to get all the way to third base.
You saw Joe Girardi in the dugout motion to Cervelli to go out to the mound and buy some time for the bullpen. And here comes Girardi. Indeed, the bullpen had enough time to get loose. Joe Girardi's going to the mound. He's called for the right-hander. He has two down there warming up. Looks like Albaladejo is headed into the ball game. But the Blue Jays, for a second consecutive time, have knocked A.J. Burnett out of the game early. It's the second shortest outing of the season. He went out after 2 innings against Tampa Bay. Albaladejo making his 10th appearance of the season.
Second stint with the Yankees for Albaladejo. He spent most of the season down in the minor leagues, and he dominated down at Scranton this year internationally. 43 saves for Albaladejo.
This pitching change is brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners. First batter to face Albaladejo will be Edwin Encarnacion. Runners at the corners, 1 out. Outside. Blue Jays have scored in each inning. They've scored 4 so far here in the third. Way outside.
Blue Jays have really roughed up A.J. Burnett this year. Look at the numbers in 4 starts versus the Jays. An ERA over 9.
Obviously, many of the players have played with A.J. Burnett. Understand that if he's not getting his secondary pitches over, you could just sit on that fastball. 2-0 to Encarnacion. center field. Granderson back on the track at the wall, makes the catch. John Buck tags at third. He'll come in to score a 5-run inning. The Blue Jays lead it 7-0.
RBI number 41 for Encarnacion. He just missed that ball in center field. That run will be charged to A.J. Burnett. Breaking ball, 2-0. He stays back and hits it to the biggest part of the ballpark. Granderson goes back, catches it right in front of the wall. That's an easy tag by John Buck. Encarnacion will pick up the RBI, but want a little bit more.
Just missed hitting the ball out of the ballpark, but picks up the sac fly. John McDonald popped up on the first pitch back in the second inning. Takes a strike. McDonald started at shortstop yesterday, starts at second base tonight. High fly ball left field. Austin Kearns takes a few steps in, makes the catch, but the Blue Jays have a big 5-run inning. They knock A.J. Burnett out of the ball game. Vernon Wells, a 3-run shot to left. His 31st of the season. Blue Jays lead it 7-0.
Here, 2 to third, 7 earned runs, 7 hits, a couple of home runs.
Alex Rodriguez steps in to face Mark Sepchinski, who has been pounding that strike zone.
Another first pitch strike against Rodriguez. 5 straight strikeouts for Mark Sepchinski. He has struck out the side the last 2 innings.
Quite a contrast in effectiveness between Burnett and Zepchinski, and obviously A.J. Burnett has terrific stuff, but just because he was falling behind and the Blue Jay hitters had a chance to really keyhole him, he was knocked out early. Strike 3 call. Mark Zepchinski paints the inside corner with a fastball. That's 6 in a row struck out by Zepchinski.
He's got it working right now. He's got 3 pitchers that he's thrown over for strike, and he's working his way through the Yankee batters by really pitching his way. I told you he's got good movement on his pitches. That's the first one that was taken for strike 3.
One out. Robinson Cano. Cano in a hole, 0-2. 1 out, 4th inning. The last 8 outs recorded by Mark Zepchinski have been strikeouts. Missed the inside corner. A ball and 2 strikes. You ask about what we can learn about pitchers in September and the extra day's rest, and obviously Zepchinski getting an extra couple of starts because of the 6-man rotation, and here now he's showing you why he should be in consideration for a spot in the rotation next year.
Looking a lot stronger, throwing a lot harder than what we saw him earlier this month. And one thing that I like that we have seen, he is throwing with conviction. It's like he has an idea of what he wants to do, and instead of trying to guide the ball there, he's throwing the ball where he wants to. A lot of that has to do with the work that he's worked with Bruce Walton.
Boy, conviction's a good word too, and that's exactly how it best describes what we're seeing from Zepchinski tonight. He's committed to every pitch. Popped up. Bautista comes in. Cano's retired. 2 outs.
Bruce Walton has been working with Mark Zepchinski about trying to stay on top of the pitches. Where Zepchinski was getting in trouble is when he was throwing around the ball, that his hand was actually on the side of the ball. And they would go out in the bullpen, especially in Baltimore. He had a couple of sessions when the Blue Jays were in Baltimore, and he'd say, get on top of the ball, get on top of the ball. And Mark thought that he was on top of it. He said, no, you're not there yet. Well, whatever the work that he did, you can see the fruits of his labor right now.
Marcus Timms has a single. Oh, and 2. That's a great point too, because sometimes players don't sense what they're doing, even if it's your hitter. That's not in the spot where you think it is, and Zepchinski certainly throwing with a lot of confidence.
You can feel like you're there, but if you have that extra set of eyes watching you, saying, no, you're not there. I'm watching where your hand is in relationship to the ball, and I'm watching the ball come out of your hand, and you're not on top of it. You're not driving that ball down.
2-2. Maybe the best example of that was when Roy Halladay was trying to revamp his delivery. Nothing clicked, and someone said, throw it side on. And then he got to where he is now. 2-2. Williams lays off. Full count. Mark Zepchinski with a 7-0 lead. Just foul. Marcus Timms has been a good addition to this Yankee team. Gives them a veteran presence. Can use him to DH against lefties, play him in left field from time to time, and also a very potent bat to bring off the bench. Three-two pitch. Cut out and missed. Tim strikes out. 9 strikeouts for Zepchinski. That ties his career high. Another off-speed pitch does the trick.
Someone will win a 40-inch Sharp Aquos Quadron TV plus Blu-ray player. Quadron, it's 4 colors, not 3. To enter, visit hitahomerunwithsharp.ca.
Travis Snyder starts things off in the fourth. Blue Jays sent 9 batters to the plate in the third inning and scored 5 runs. Snyder has scored twice, walked and doubled. You wonder how long Joe Girardi will stick with the regulars in this 7-0 game. Not to suggest that they couldn't come back from a 7-run deficit, but they didn't get to their hotel rooms till 4:30 in the morning. This ball is popped up left side of the infield. Jeter calls off Rodriguez and makes the catch.
The Jays on Rogers Sportsnet, brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Back here at Rogers Center, Blue Jays up 7-0. Baltimore is leading Tampa Bay 1-0 in the fifth down in St. Petersburg. Tampa Bay leads the American League East by half a game.
Big picture, what you were just talking about leaving the regulars in. Yankees are like a lot of teams in the American League. Boston and Tampa come to mind. Who can come back? Doesn't matter what the deficit is. But it's a good point about, hey, let's look at the big picture. We got a week to go here. If it's 10-0 in the 6th inning, maybe you get them out, get them ready for tomorrow.
Joe Girardi's kind of taken that approach over the last several weeks of this season. 3-0. He's got an older team. He acknowledges that. And he says, I don't want to wear my guys down to the point where it takes them a while to get back. Once they get tired, you got to set them down for 3 or 4 days.
I know the Yankees right now and the Boston Red Sox, because it seems like they're always there. That ESPN 8 o'clock game on Sunday's got to go, because the game gets over at midnight. I believe it was a minute till midnight when that game got over last night. Then you got to get dressed, get on the plane, come to a town. You can see how it can really drain you.
Yeah, it's a tough assignment to play 8 o'clock Sunday night and then jump on a plane and go to the next town. Jose Bautista has an RBI tonight. He was trying to hit a home run. We have seen that swing all season long.
Sure didn't look like he was trying to soft serve one into right field. One thing on his mind.
Ball outside, ball on the strike.
Yankees, one of the first teams who have really tried to pound Bautista in with fastball. They've got the pitchers who can do it. Big, strong guys who can pound you in. But don't miss, because he can turn on a fastball.
Well, pitching inside and throwing strikes inside, it's two dramatically different things. If you have a good, competent hitter like Bautista and it's an inside ball, he goes right back over the outer half.
Pitching inside to get a guy out away. Very popular with pitchers.
2-1. Hold off that pitch a bit.
The only problem with that theory against Jose Bautista, he's so good at taking those pitches right on the border, that if you try and pound him outside, he's a smart hitter. He's now going to start looking away for that off-speed pitch.
Off the end of the bat. Blue Jays lead 7-0. They scored a single run in the first and second, and then tacked up a 5 spot in the third. Breaking ball pulled to third. Rodriguez to second. Cano back to first in time. Robinson Cano turns that double play as good as anybody in the big leagues. Yankees are out of the fourth. Look at their record after 156 games last year. They had won 100 of those games. They haven't hit as well, and they have pitched a little bit better, but the offense has really been a little bit less than they expected.
No Johnny Damon, no Hideki Matsui. Two big bat veteran hitters that really helped the team last year, the Yankees. Last year at this time, they were 156 losses. 100 wins, 156 losses. I think those two guys, Damon and Matsui, had a lot to do with the offense.
Well, they were veterans. They hit good pitching, and you knew what you were going to get.
They produced in the playoffs. You know, they produced in clutch situations. Johnny Damon and Hideki Matsui, two of the better players with runners in scoring position. Always a tough out. That's not to take away from any of the players that they replaced them with. Those guys have been there and they've done it before.
2 balls and a strike to Austin Kearns, the left fielder. Hideki Matsui was the MVP of the World Series. Johnny Damon drove in 82 runs during the regular season. Matsui drove in 90.
Scored a bunch of it too, didn't Johnny Damon up over 100 runs?
Johnny Damon scored 107, while Matsui scored 62. Matsui, of course, didn't run, but Matsui hit 28 home runs. Damon hit 24. A leadoff walk here in the 5th, issued to Austin Kearns. Mark Zebczynski has tied his career high with 9 strikeouts. At one point, Zebczynski struck out 6 in a row. Curtis Granderson struck out to start that streak of 6 straight strikeouts. Look out. John Buck saw something he didn't like. It's going right to the mound.
Starting to rush it just a little bit right now, saying, okay, I got to get through the 5th inning here because I want to get this W. Right now, the first 2 batters is really rushing and opening up that front side a little bit too quickly.
I think the biggest thing a pitcher can do right now, if he's trying to impress the manager and the pitching coach, just to show that you can repeat your delivery. Don't worry about anything other than that. And we've seen that tonight. Zepchinski has been able to repeat his delivery pitch after pitch tonight. Long drive right field. Curtis Granderson, 2-run homer. Granderson continues a dramatic turnaround in the second half. His 24th of the season. The Yankees are on the board.
What a month of September it has been for Curtis Granderson. And he is doing it against righties and lefties. This is his 3rd home run and 8th RBIs in the last month. This ball, no doubt about it, from Mark Zepchinski, fell behind. Watch the reaction from Zepchinski. He's not even going to look because he knows that that ball's gone.
Well, Granderson's a veteran player that has made a dramatic change in his hitting style mid-season, and boy, has it paid off.
Got to give him some credit also. This is a guy who hit 30 home runs last year for the Tigers, but knows he has to be a little bit more consistent. You're right, dramatically changed it, shortening up his swing a little bit more, staying a little bit more quiet at the plate. And they're really paying off.
Zepchinski now has fallen behind Cervelli. A leadoff walk, a 2-run home run. We mentioned the Yankees are never out of it. John Buck going to go out now and have the company of the pitching coach. Bruce Walton has come out of the dugout. But let's talk about Granderson for a minute. And it's really interesting. You're right. He had 30 home runs last year, 22 the year before for the Tigers. He comes to the Yankees in the offseason deal. And Kevin Long, the hitting coach, just kind of sat back. He saw some flaws in Granderson's approach, but he felt if I rush him when he first gets here, I will lose my credibility. I have to give a veteran player a chance to get comfortable in this surrounding.
The worst thing you can do as a coach when you get a new player is all of a sudden just throw yourself on him and say, well, I think this is the way you should do it. Because you will lose that player like that. It happened with Brian Butterfield this year. When Juno Escobar came over here, he saw some things that he wanted to work with him, but he didn't want to thrust himself onto him, or he would have just shut him out.
First thing you have to do as a coach is gain trust of your player. Another walk, and all of a sudden Zepchinski has lost command.
You could win an all-new Honda CRZ and other great prizes when you vote for the Honda Play of the Month. Vote today at BlueJays.com.
Top of the 5th inning, the Yankees have scored 2. Still trailed by 5. Back to the top of the order. Jeter's 0 for 2. First pitch breaking ball for a strike. Left-handed Ryan Talent starts to loosen up. Pitching matchup in Tampa Bay. Brian Mattis for the Orioles leads 1-0 over Wade Davis and the Rays. Jeter swings and misses over 2. Jeter hasn't had very good cuts at that changeup down and away from Zepchinski.
Grounded one back to the mound his first time up and then swung at it in the. Does have good numbers against Zepchinski in his career, just 11 at bat.
On the ground, Escobar flips to second, McDonald to first, double play. Junel Escobar came after that slow chopped ball at shortstop and gave McDonald a good shovel toss to allow McDonald to make a quick turn.
Pitcher's best friend, that double play, comes at a great time. Escobar attacks this ball. You're right. He's a double play depth, but he attacks the ball, doesn't wait back on it. Jeter knows that it's going to be close at first base. Good turn by McDonald. He's so quick with his hands around the bag.
Getting the start today in place of Aaron Hill. Nick Swisher takes a first pitch breaking ball for his strike. After losing it, Mark Zepchinski has found it again.
Isn't that the way it goes sometimes with young players?
Repeatability, being able to repeat your pitch, your delivery, keep you in the strike zone. A ball and a strike to Nick Swisher, the Yankees right fielder. Right on the inside corner.
How about the strikeouts piling up for Zepchinski? Got 8 of them his last start against Seattle, 9 more here tonight. He was 1 strike away from setting a new career high in strikeouts in a game.
Bounced and John Buck took one off the forearm. Two balls, 2 strikes. Blue Jays lead it 7-2. Full count. Mark Zepchinski struck out 9 before he walked his first batter here tonight. He has walked 2 in this inning. Make it 3. Fisher takes up and away. Then Mark Teixeira will bat with a man on. Tough time for a pitching coach and a manager to sit there. 5th inning, Zepchinski has not yet qualified for the win. Yeah. And the Yankees are capable of putting up crooked numbers.
And you just know that you're playing in danger land when you start walking batters with the home run threats that they have up and down the lineup. You walk a couple of guys and all of a sudden, boom, they're right back in this game. That's why that double play was so huge off the bat of Jeter.
2-0. Getting kind of interesting here in the 5th. Teixeira at the plate with the count in his favor. Alex Rodriguez looming on deck. Fouled off. When we talk about the balance of this lineup and the home run threats up and down the order, this is why the Yankees can come back from big deficits.
Balance not just in the type of hitters that they have, but they have switch hitters. So it makes it tough for a manager late in the game if he wants to try and mix and match his way to get through a ball game. But they've got great power. They've got a great on-base percentage. They're number 1 in the American League in on-base percentage.
They have 3 switch hitters on the bench tonight. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Another full count.
3 switch hitters on the bench. And 2 in the starting lineup.
Runner at first base. Swisher will be off with the pitch. Grounded through the right side. Base hit into right field. Swisher goes around second. He'll stop at third. The Yankees are threatening with 2 outs.
Sometimes it's not how hard you hit it, but where you hit it. The big hole on the right side, as you see McDonald shaded up the middle. The power hit a Teixeira at the plate. He was jammed on that pitch. Good pitch by Zepchinski, but it rolls through the right side.
3 walks in the inning. A 2-run home run and now a 2-out single. Set the table for Alex Rodriguez. ball and a strike. Grounded to third. Encarnacion goes to second for the force out. Sapchinski gets out of the fifth. The Yankees make 3 walks and a 2-run home run. They're on the board, but the Blue Jays lead 7-2. Middle of the fifth. Be the new Yankee pitcher coming into the game will be Dustin Mosley, who was scheduled to start last night against the Red Sox. He'll come in relief.
He has made 4 starts this year for the Yankees. He's made 9 appearances, 14 games altogether now for Dustin Mosley, pitching out of the bullpen and making a few starts. He has pitched with the Reds organization. He's pitched with the Angels. You're right, he was supposed to pitch, but they made the change. They moved him out into the bullpen. He was in the clubhouse, and they called for him, and they sent him out in the bullpen to get loose when they were in New York. So Mosley now a long man as they have jiggled their lineup a little bit, their starting rotation. Mosley comes out of the bullpen now to try and keep it a 5-run deficit.
Vernon Wells homered his last time up. He's 2 for 2 tonight. His home run came on a first pitch. A.J. Burnett. Blue Jays lead the major leagues with 48 first pitch home runs. That's 10 more than the Cincinnati Reds. They've been aggressive all year long, jumping on the first pitch.
And it's not just fastballs or break. They've been hitting everything this year. It's been a mindset for the Blue Jays this year. Just be very aggressive early in the count. If you sit on a pitch and you get it, let it go.
Mosley with good command of the strike zone. He'll move the ball in and out, sink the ball as he did there to Wells to start the at-bat.
Doesn't overpower you. Will sink the fastball, like you said, a little bit of a slider. Challenge you. Doesn't really walk too many batters.
Looked like Mark Sapchinski was getting congratulations on the bench. Indication that he might be finished. Mosley's made 2 starts against the Blue Jays this year. He's 1-1 for the season. This is his 5th appearance against the Jays. On the ground. Big hop for Alex Rodriguez. In time to get Wells 1 out.
When he is on, you'll see a lot of ground ball outs from Dustin Mosley. Sinker slider type. A pitcher that you need, a veteran guy who's been through the wars before. swing man, what they call him. He can spot start if you need him. He can be a long man out of the pen. He can pitch in the middle parts of the game. Most important thing is you got to be able to throw strikes.
He was a big part of this rotation when Andy Pettitte was out dealing with that groin injury. And it went out middle of July. 1 out, Lyle Overbay jumps on the first pitch. Overbay had a double to center field. Part of that big 5-run third inning. Trying to bring that two-seamer back over the inside. Ball on the strike. Changeup. A lot of good movement from Mosley down and away.
First team that he pitched against this year for the New York Yankees was that game in New York versus Toronto. Through 2 perfect innings, worked very quickly, threw lots and lots of strikes. And you mentioned him taking the place of Andy Pettitte. When Pettitte went on to the St. Louis, he won 4 games for New York when Pettitte was on the DL.
Andy Pettitte is back and anxious to get another start under his belt. He's made just 2 since coming off the DL. It's a wide one. It's a full count. There's the veteran Andy Pettitte with that great postseason record. Pettitte is scheduled to work on Wednesday. Subject to change, of course, if the Yankees can clinch their postseason berth before his start. Overbay takes the walk, a 1-out walk in the 5th. Let's check in with Sam Cosentino.
Buck last time up, John Buck swung at the first pitch, singled up the middle. He leads all of Major League Baseball swinging at the first pitch, 48.7% of the time. John Buck goes after the first pitch. Almost fascinating to think that nearly half the time up, he's going right after.
He has certainly bought into the philosophy of get it ready and let it go.
That's why you see a lot of pitchers throwing breaking balls. I was talking to John Farrell of the Boston Red Sox when we were there last week, and we were talking about John Buck, and no first pitch fastball for that man right there. He is just aggressive as soon as he steps into that batter's box, so they throw him all breaking balls first pitch.
Cutter off the plate. Ball on the strike. Mosley kind of similar to Sean Hill in the way he throws a lot of sinking fastballs and just tries to go back and forth, in and out. Makes the hitter kind of reach for the ball.
Was injured last year with the Angels and actually missed over 150 games with a right forearm problem. So he is coming back from injury, just like you were talking about Sean Hill. Same thing.
Sean Hill has been a very interesting pickup for the Blue Jays. He's made 3 starts. His last start was very impressive. In the 1-0 game, hooked up against Felix Hernandez. He didn't get much attention because in that game, Jose Bautista hit his 50th home run, and Ichiro hit his 200th hit of the season. And oh, by the way, Sean Hill beat Felix Hernandez.
Yeah. Felix Hernandez, what would he do with 5 runs a game? Be about 20-2.
Yeah, he's really going to be good when he grows up. 24 years old. Strike 3 call. John Buck looks at an outside fastball. Again, Mosley making good pitches with the fastball.
You could win an all-new Honda CRZ and other great prizes when you vote for the Honda Play of the Month. Vote today at BlueJays.com.
2 outs. Adam Lind, a single and a strikeout. Blue Jays 7 runs on 7 hits. The Yankees 2 runs on just 4 hits. Blue Jays have hit 2 home runs. Wells and John Buck. Curtis Granderson has gone deep for the Yankees. The Yankees would also clinch a playoff berth if the Boston Red Sox lose tonight. Currently, Boston is winning. There's a strike at the knees. Boston is beating the White Sox. Clay Buchholz on the mound for the Red Sox.
That's why the game last night was so huge for the Yankees to come back and win that game against Boston. Red Sox would have swept them. They would have gotten the lead down to 5 games.
The changeup, and Mosley strikes out. Then 2 strikeouts in the inning. The Blue Jays strand the base runner. We have played 5 complete here. The Blue Jays lead 7-2. Brian Talon will come on in relief. Career win against the Yankees.
Yankees got him a couple of times this year, knocked him out on the 24th and then the 4th of this month, but this was a different Mark Zepchinski that we saw tonight. 5 innings. He ran his pitch count up, walking 3 batters in his last inning, but he ties his career high in strikeouts. I mean, he looked fabulous in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th inning, piling up 8 of those strikeouts. So he will give way now to Brian Talon. Last time we saw him was a couple of days ago against the Baltimore Orioles. Pitched an inning and a third for Cito Gaston's team, a couple of walks in a strikeout for Talon. Lefties just hitting 182 against Brian this season.
Talon making his 4th appearance against New York this year. It's Robbie Cano to chase the first pitch fastball. Cano continues to struggle against the Blue Jays. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Came into this series batting 164 against Toronto.
Hard to figure. Every time you look at the box scores for the Yankees, you see Cano with 2 or 3 hits and just piling up the numbers, and you expect that here. But the Blue Jays have pitched him tough. A lot of off-speed pitches, and they have got him out in front.
He's 9 for 57 against the Blue Jays pitching staff. Get him to chase that inside fastball. Amazing how a great hitter can struggle against a particular team. It just happens to not match up well against a staff.
It might be their style. It might be the types of pitchers. Good play right there by John Buck to keep that ball from hitting the dirt.
First strikeout for Brian Talent. Take a look at Robinson Cano and Alex Rodriguez this year against the Blue Jays. They haven't had much success.
Two of the best hitters in the American League. Both of them getting closer to 330 home runs. Not hit with runners in scoring position this year. It helps if you can shut down the middle of the lineup. They've pitched Teixeira tough this year. They've pitched, as you can see from those numbers, A-Rod and Cano.
Marcus Timms 1 for 2. Alex Rodriguez always tough on the Blue Jays and has big numbers for his career against Toronto. A little bit different story this season.
He loves hitting in this ballpark too. He's got tremendous numbers hitting at Rogers Center. But the Jays have pitched him awfully tough.
Now it strikes out Timms. Good inside fastball.
Second time that Timms has gone down via the strikeout. A little cutter on the inside part of the plate. Talent's coming out of that bullpen, throwing strikes.
2 outs here to start the 6th. Austin Kearns, the left fielder, goes after the first pitch. You mentioned Blue Jays hold a 8-7 advantage over the Yankees this year. It would be their first winning season against New York since 2000. Last year, Blue Jays won just 6 of the 18 games against the Yankees. How much do you buy into that quote many teams talk about during September? Well, the season starts fresh in October, the postseason. But if you're the Yankees, aren't you somewhat concerned with the way your pitching staff's going right now?
I think everybody wants to have momentum as they go into the playoffs. You certainly don't want to be limping to the finish line. You want your play to be going on an upswing. And I think there has been some concern about the Yankees starting pitching. You read some of the papers in New York when they made the switch and who they were going to throw in this series.
Ground ball, deep and short. Escobar not going to have time. Couldn't get much on the throw. Kearns runs well, but Escobar was deep in the hole trying to make that one hop skip throw to first. Should be an infield hit for Kearns.
Another play that he has been working on is if he goes to his right like this, go ahead and jump like Derek Jeter and make that throw. But he just can't get enough on it. It's not very accurate. You're not going to throw too many people out from where he was.
He was well behind the third baseman when he made that throw. Infield single with 2 outs. Curtis Granderson homered, hit a home run deep to right field in the 5th. 24 home runs now for Granderson, and he had a groin injury that had him on the disabled list middle of the season. We had mentioned the adjustments that Granderson has made. What he's done is he's kept both hands on the bat, brought his hands in closer to his body, so he has a more powerful swing through the zone, and he's quieted his movement down.
He's more compact with his swing. When he first came up, he was up on his front toe. His bat was high. You saw a lot of extra movement. He stood up straighter. Now he is spread out just a little bit more. You can see from the side shot how far spread out he is. But he's a lot quieter and tracking the ball a lot better.
Talent strikes him out. Another good breaking ball. Brian Talent strikes out to side. His first inning of relief here in the 6th. The Blue Jays lead it by 5.
Cincinnati Reds. He's here taking a good long look at the Yankees. Should the Reds and the Yankees meet in the World Series, Taylor will forward that intelligence to Cincinnati and Dusty Baker so that they can use it in creating their game plan. Team's always thinking ahead.
This time of the year, you see a lot of scouts around different ballparks as their team. That's John Wilson, longtime scout with the Minnesota Twins. You can see writing notes, making sure they cover everything. Wilson was with the Yankees in Baltimore watching that series, and many teams now with teams in the postseason, they're going to track the other teams they might match up with during the postseason. And as the games get down and they get into those first and second rounds, the number of scouts will increase for each respective team. Last year at the NLCS in Philadelphia, the Yankees had 10 scouts at the ballpark.
Watching pitchers, watching tendencies, watching the manager, hitters, how they defend everybody. I mean, there's so much that goes into it now.
Well, another thing, too, is when you see teams, and this was brought up by the Twin scout, John Wilson, he watched Buck Showalter's Orioles pitch to the Yankees. Buck Showalter managed the Yankees, certainly had Jeter and Posada, so he knows them very well. So Wilson's information was a little bit more informed when he watched the Orioles pitch to the Yankees than it might be here with the Blue Jays pitching to the Yankees.
Yeah, they definitely had a plan of what they were trying to do to Jeter, the Baltimore Orioles, and they really handcuffed them and had a bad series.
High pop-up into left field. Should be an easy play for Austin Kearns. And it is.
I was talking to Jeff Taylor before the game today, and he said, well, what brings you back to Toronto? And I said, well, Cincinnati sent me here just in case. I said, well, do you have any questions for me? I've been watching the Yankees all season long. He goes, yeah, how do you get Robinson Cano out? I said, just watch the game tonight. The Blue Jays have pitched him really tough.
That's another thing you would do if you're an advanced scout, and you would go and look at the matchups, how the Blue Jays have handled Teixeira, A-Rod, and Cano, and then you'd really pay particular attention to how they're pitching those particular battles. John McDonald pops it up again, this time behind second. Cano calls for it. 2 outs.
You know, you can have all the information in the world, and the information is out there. People spend money to send scouts and everything like that, but you still have to perform. And if the scouting report says you've got to throw Robinson Cano a lot of changeups, if you can't perform, if you can't do that, you're not going to get him out.
Yeah. And certainly, I think the value of advanced scouts at this point of the season, to see who's hot, to see who's really swinging the bat well, and make sure that you try to come up with a game plan. And that's the value of having 2 or 3 scouts at the ballpark, where you can exchange ideas. You and I could sit and watch a hitter like Travis Snyder, and we could have differing views on how to pitch him.
And you take all that information and you throw it together, and I think the value of a scout is, okay, I'm going to watch the Yankees. How do I beat the Yankees? Can I find a chink in their armor? You know, if it's how to pitch a guy or what I need to do to beat the Yankees, I think that's a great value of a scout. How do I beat A.J. Burnett if he's watching the game tonight? Or C.C. Sabathia is supposed to pitch tomorrow.
There's a bullet into right field. Swisher's not going to get it. It'll go all the way to the wall. Snyder's around first, headed for second. He stops at second. Had thoughts of third base right there, but saw the throw headed back to the cutoff man and stops with 2.
He clobbers that pitch from Dustin Mosley. When he stays on top of the ball, watch how the barrel of the bat stays on top of the ball and goes right through the hitting plane. He is thinking extra bases here. When that ball got by Swisher, banged up against the wall, he was thinking about 3. But from where I was sitting, he knows he has 2 here. I don't know if he got the bag when he came around second base. He missed it. So he had to stop.
2 outs. Escobar cuts on the first pitch from Mosley. Well, with 2 outs, you got to make sure you can make it standing up at third, but also when you miss second,
put on the brakes.
Always a good idea to stop. Ball and a strike. Continuing to look around the rest of the American League East. Baltimore still leading Tampa Bay 1-0 top of the 7th. Boston ahead of the White Sox 3-0 top of the 4th. And as Yogi once said, it's not over till it's over. The Yankees understand that very well.
I would think that the Yankees would want to get that home field advantage because playing in Yankee Stadium is so tough for a visiting team. They've got a great record playing at Yankee Stadium. 52-29 playing there. Joe Girardi knows that. But right now he's thinking about getting his team into the playoffs.
When you think of the last 2 teams they faced in a division series, the Angels and the Twins, either of those visiting folks played well. This has popped up down the right field line. Swisher on the track makes the catch. Escobar's retired. Blue Jays strand a runner. We have played 6 here at Rogers Center. Blue Jays ahead 7-2. For the Blue Jays, they now have 243 home runs on the season. Those friends are sitting there courtesy of TD Canada Trust.
We're going to be down there in a couple of days, aren't we?
Bring your glove.
I'm bringing a net.
We can get on the players from there too. Catcher Francisco Cervelli leads off the 7th. Yankees scored 2 runs in the 5th, made it a 7-2 game. Curtis Granderson hit a 2-run home run, his 24th homer of the season. 2-0. There's a strike. One thing you want to avoid. The only time Mark Zepchinski got in trouble tonight is when he walked batters. As we mentioned, he had 9 strikeouts before he walked the leadoff batter in the 5th. And then he would ultimately walk 3 batters in that 5th inning that contributed to the Yankees' 2 runs. High fly into shallow center field. Vernon Wells calls for it. 1 out. Blue Jays bullpen throwing again. The left-hander is Jesse Carlson. The right-hander is Josh Reddick.
Just in case, Brian Talent has made 27 relief appearances this year, and over half of them he's thrown multiple innings. So he's working on his 2nd inning here. And just in case he falls into trouble and they need to make a pitching change. They've got a righty and a lefty working. You were just talking about the inning that Mark Zebchinski had trouble in the 5th inning. The biggest pitch in that inning was to Derek Jeter. He had a walk, a home run, a walk, and then Jeter was at the plate and he got the double play, which was huge.
Fly ball, right field line, and slicing off the truck. Bautista couldn't make the play. Yeah, if Jeter gets aboard, even if he hits into a force out, Zebchinski probably doesn't get out of the inning.
He ended up walking Swisher and then gave up a base hit to Teixeira, so there's no telling what that inning would have looked like if he didn't make a great pitch against Jeter and got the double play.
Ground ball plugs by Overbay. Talent there. Not in time. Jeter, every single time he puts the ball in play, gives you everything he has, and right there it was enough to beat Brian Talent.
He doesn't take anything for granted when he plays this game. The ball was hit hard to the right side, and Talent was late getting over there. Watch him break off the mound a little bit, just that little hesitation. And Jeter beats him to the bag.
But Jeter beat him by half a step. Overbay quickly shovels it to Talent, but Talent wasn't going to win the foot race. You could see Jeter's ahead of Talent.
A pitcher, what you want to do is you want to go over about 3/4 of the way up the line and then start making your way up the line. But Talent crosses over the line. It cost him a half a step there. It might have cost him an out.
Nick Swisher takes the ball down. The one thing about Derek Jeter, you can count on him giving you everything he has. I don't care if he got in at 4 in the morning or had a good night's sleep. That's what he does. And he beat Brian Talent to the bag at first. Base hit in the left field. Escobar timed his jump perfectly, but it was just beyond his reach. Swisher has his first hit.
And something as simple as beating out an infield single can spark your ball club. He doesn't hustle down that line. It's 2 outs, nobody on. Maybe you pitch differently to Swisher, but there's a base hit and now a setup for the middle of the lineup.
You can speak to this as a former player. How many times have you seen guys hit the ball hard, recognize a good defensive play, and then give up?
And then stop.
Yeah.
Saying, I'm out.
Yeah. And Jeter just never does that. I mean, it was so easy to say, oh, well, Overbay made a good play, and you just give up for a half a stride. It costs you.
Oh, we're down by 5 runs, too. There's only 2 players that I've seen for their entire careers that when they came on a baseball field and gave it everything they got, no matter the situation, the outs, anything. It was Derek Jeter and Pete Rose. Pete Rose never took a play off. Same type of player. Ground ball back to the mound, he's hustling all the way to first base.
2 on, 1 out. Mark Teixeira swings and drives it to center field. This ball is hit hard. Wells at the track. Home run, Teixeira. A 3-run home run. And the Yankees have made it a 2-run game.
With their ability to get on base and to score runs, they're never out of a game. Just 1 out in the 7th inning, and maybe that little play by Jeter sparks something. Teixeira gets a fastball out over the middle of the plate and muscles the ball to center field. This ball has hit a ton into the first deck. And just like that, that 3-run homer has brought the Yankees to within 2.
Mark Teixeira has 17 RBI against the Blue Jays now. He knocks Brian Talent out of the game. Josh Renicky will come on.
1-0. Last time we saw him was a couple of days ago against Boston also. He can strike you out. I think that's what Cito Gaston is looking for right now as he faces A-Rod. Someone who can come out, throw strikes, and get to the 8th and 9th inning for the closer.
Alex Rodriguez 0 for 3. A couple of strikeouts. Swings at the first pitch, hits it on the ground to Encarnacion. 1 pitch, 1 out for Renicky. Cito Gaston has popped out of the Blue Jays dugout. He's made the call. He's got the left-hander ready. Brian Talent had a very good first inning in the 6th, but the infield single by Derek Jeter set up a 3-run home run by Mark Teixeira. Josh Renicky gets his man, and now Jesse Carlson will come out of the bullpen to face Robinson Cano. Blue Jays clinging to a 2-run lead. Provided by Stats Inc. Music provided by Universal Canada. Well, the Yankees have stormed back. 2 in the 5th, 3 here in the 7th. The third pitcher of the inning, Jesse Carlson, will come on to face Robbie Cano.
Cito Gaston using his very deep bullpen to go righty, righty, lefty, lefty. Left-handers, though, have not bothered Robinson Cano this year. You see the numbers for Carlson. Robbie Cano has hit 13 home runs against left-handed pitching this year. 15 against the right-handers. He's hitting very respectable 285 versus the lefties also.
Breaking balls outside, a ball on the strike. Two outs. Top of the 7th inning. Base hit left field. Cano continues to swing the bat well against the lefties. And now Marcus Timms will come to the plate. The right-hander facing the left-hander, Jesse Carlson.
Timms has really worn out lefties this year. Up over 300. And now, just like that, represents the tying run.
Timms against the Blue Jays this season. 1 for 3 tonight. Came into the game batting .480. He's 13 for 28. Cano's at first, 2 outs. Fouled straight back to the screen.
Not much of a lead for Cano over there. That base hit that Carlson gave up to Robbie Cano, just the 3rd hit he has given up all season long to a left-handed batter. Again, lefties don't bother Cano.
Line drive left field. Snyder is there and makes the catch. Timms hit it right on the button, but right at the left fielder, Travis Snyder. Timms continues to swing the bat well against the Blue Jays. This time he's retired. 7-5 Blue Jays.
His record 4-5, a very good earned run average of 377. He has been the main setup man for the Yankees this season. He's got a very good fastball right over the top. He's also thrown in a save, 1 for 3 in save opportunities this year. Robertson, 29 walks, 67 strikeouts this year. Been very good setting up Mariano Rivera this year. And back in August, though, he pitched against Jose Bautista, and this is the result. Fastball down and in. That was the game that Nova rushed Bautista back, knocked him down with a high fastball. So some retribution for Bautista as he takes Robertson deep to left field.
Robertson has come back and pitched very well of late. And Bautista will be the first batter he faces here, bottom of the 7th.
29 appearances since the All-Star break. His ERA is under 2. Goes very hard and will get a lot of strikeouts. Good fastball, good curveball from Robertson.
Robertson, Java Chamberlain, and of course the great Mariano Rivera, they're responsible for the last 3 innings of the game. Boone Logan has also pitched well, Kerry Wood as well. But the back end of their bullpen is in good shape.
Yeah, it's been 4-5 with the trades and the pickups that they have gotten during the season. So I think that's a very good strength for the Yankees heading into the playoffs.
Line drive left field. Granderson back at the track, makes the catch just in front of the wall. Granderson got a good jump on that ball and ran it down just shy of the fence in left center.
It caught Jose Bautista just a little bit on the inside part. They wanted the ball away, but it came in and he just couldn't get the full extension that we have seen him hit this year, and it just goes as a long fly ball to center field. Just missed it.
Vernon Wells is 2 for 3, including a 3-run home run. Fastball down. Blue Jays lead 7-5 as they bat into 7th. Base hit. That's got a chance to get all the way to the wall. Brendan Wells around first. He's headed for second. Granderson on the warning track. Gets it in. Here goes Wells for third. The throw from Cano. Got him. A little bit of a hesitation around second. Robinson Cano has a cannon, and he threw out Wells from right center.
A good try, though, for Wells. Trying to get to third base with less than 2 outs, but it's hard to run on Robinson Cano. The Yankees performed the cutoff and relays perfectly to get Wells. This ball is hit into the gap in right field. Granderson, all he has to do is just catch it and get it to Cano. Get it to the middle infielder and let them do the rest. The secret to that was Cano, how quickly he caught the ball and threw a strike to A-Rod to get Vernon Wells.
Granderson initiated it. Cano converted it. A strong throw to third. 2 outs.
The whole key to that play was Cano turning his body so he can catch the ball and get rid of it in one swoop. No crow hop for Cano, just catch and throw.
Just like he would do on a double play.
He's got a strong arm, doesn't he? He will win the Gold Glove, I am sure, as a second baseman in the American League.
If he doesn't, it's a big upset.
Watch how he receives the ball. His body is already turned, so he just catches it and fires it off of that back leg. A lot of times you'll see middle infielders catch it, crow hop a little bit, really waste time, but not for Robinson Cano there. That was perfectly executed.
He couldn't have done that had it not been for a good throw from Granderson. It was right on the money, and Cano didn't have to move his body. And that's what you practice day in and day out down in spring training, and the Yankees executed perfectly. Three-one count to Lyle Overbay. A 2-run game, bottom of the 7th inning. Good fastball from Robertson. Blue Jays haven't scored since the 3rd. And from that point, the Yankees have added 5.
What a job their bullpen has done so far to date. Avaladejo, Mosley, and now Robertson.
Overbay goes the other way, but there's Austin Kearns who will take it on the line. And Overbay lines out to end the 7th. We have played 7 innings here at Rogers Center. Blue Jays lead by 2. Ranking can be this comfortable. Turned into a ball game here in the 8th inning. 7-5 Blue Jays lead it. The Yankees added a 3 spot into the 7th. Scott Downs has come out of the Blue Jays bullpen. He'll start things off here in the 8th.
There are the numbers for Scott Downs. 66 games now, which ties him for second with Jason Frazier for the most on the teams. Sean Camp leads with 67 games. Good numbers, 5 wins out of the bullpen, an ERA under 3. Opponents hitting just .217 against Downs. Throw in 24 holds for the left-hander, which ties him for 4th in the American League. He's had a very solid season.
Austin Kearns, a couple of singles to go along with a walk. He scored after that walk in the 5th. Two and 0. This is what the Yankees do very well. They make you work. They will take pitches. They will work to get on base. They all understand exactly what their assignment is. And for Kearns, it's get on base.
Veterans who really work the count, understand what pitchers are trying to do to them. The Yankees #1 in on-base percentage in the American League.
There's a strike, 2-1. Give you an update around the American League East. Baltimore is leading Tampa Bay 4-0, bottom of the 8th in St. Petersburg, and the Red Sox lead the White Sox 4-0, bottom of the 5th in Chicago. Good curveball. 2-2. After this 3-game series, the Yankees will go to Boston and play a weekend series against the Red Sox. The Yankees will have Thursday off. Full count. The Yankees currently second to Tampa Bay in the American League East by a half a game. They would be the wild card team as we speak. Come on and missed. Good sinker down and in. Downs strikes out Kearns.
So much easier if you can get that first batter. Scott Downs has done a good job of that first batter efficiency this season. 49 out of 66 batters he has retired that first batter efficiency.
Curtis Granderson, 2-run homer in the 5th off the left-hander.
Boy, he looks so much better at the plate. It was just a few years ago that Curtis Granderson led the American League with the most strikeouts. Wild swinger, but he would have good production and he'd have some decent numbers, but he just struck out so many times. You don't see that from him now.
Good fastball, 1-1. What would Cedar Gaston say about Granderson? He's coachable.
And he's willing to learn. How many guys who have spent, 5 or 6 years in the major leagues and who've had great success like he has, a couple of 30 home run seasons. Someone comes up to you and says, hey, what do you think about this? A lot of time guys will just say, hey, leave me alone. I know what I'm doing.
Give you the Heisman.
He's not that type of person.
You have to think what the motivation is for a coach, and all it is to try to make you better. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Top of the 8th inning. He went. Throw to first base, and Granderson's retired. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Scott Downs.
He's hit a home run tonight, but he's also struck out 3 times. The lefties have pitched him tough. When they got the 2 strikes, they bounced that breaking ball to him or kept it away from him. He just can't hold up. That side shot shows how he went around.
Jorge Posada, the veteran catcher, will come on as a pinch hitter, batting for Francisco Cervelli. Cervelli was 0 for 2 with the walk. Posada is struggling right now, 0 for his last 12 with 7 strikeouts.
There are his numbers against Scott Downs this year as a pinch hitter. He's 1 for 11 for Joe Girardi's team. That one hit, a home run.
Outside 2-0. Posada as a right-handed hitter this year, 263 with 8 home runs. Batting left-handed, 249 with 10 homers. Rayano. Derek Jeter is on deck. No action in the Blue Jays bullpen. Jeter started the rally in the 7th with a 1-out infield hit when he beat Brian Talent to the bag in a foot race. (3-0) to Posada. Check swing. He'd like to have that pitch back. Oh, what a break. A 3-0 check swing tapper to the first baseman ends the 8th inning. Scott Downs comes out of the bullpen and shuts up the Yankees for the 8th. Burger King, home of the Whopper.
Mark Zepchinski had it working in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th innings. He ends up striking out 6 straight Yankee batters. Some good ones, too. Derek Jeter in the mix, Swisher, Teixeira, and A-Rod. Those 6 straight strikeouts by Mark Zepchinski ties a team record for the Blue Jays for most consecutive strikeouts.
Ted Lilly had that record set in 2004. Now Zepchinski has tied Lilly with 6 straight.
Boy, he had it working too. Every one of his pitches had good snap to it and throwing it for strikes. He was getting ahead. Good sign for Zepchinski. Jorge Posada takes over behind the plate. He pinched hit last inning for Cervelli and now will take his spot behind the plate.
Yankees trail by 2. Blue Jays batting in the bottom of the 8th inning. John Buck's had another good night at the plate. He is 2 for 3. He's homered and driven in 2 and scored 2. 19 homers, a new career high for John Buck. The trend continues. First pitch breaking ball.
there's going to come a time that John Buck's going to say, you know what, I'm going to sit on that. And if a pitcher just tries to throw one of those get me over breaking balls, he's going to hit it a long way.
Oh, 1-2. John Buck, 275 average, 19 homers and 63 RBI. He signed a one-year contract with the Blue Jays, and he has the opportunity to test the free agent market.
More importantly, though, I think his game calling and the way that he has really brought along a lot of these young pitchers, helped them along, has been very impressive.
No question about it. I think that's the biggest improvement in his game from opening day to this point, the leadership he has shown behind the plate and as a team leader in the clubhouse. 2-2 pitch. Full count. John Buck was in Kansas City last year with the Royals, as was Miguel Olivo, who left the Royals and went to Colorado. Olivo had a terrific first half of the season, tailed off a little bit in the second half, but both the Royals catchers having good seasons in 2010. Hit on the ground. Gloved by Alex Rodriguez. Buck's retired. Blue Jays closer Kevin Gregg loosening up. Gregg with 35 saves this season. Joe Girardi has come out of the Yankee dugout. He'll take the ball from David Robertson and call upon the left-hander. Boone Logan comes out of the bullpen. Logan will come on to face Adam Lind with one out here in the eighth.
Look at those numbers in 48 games. He was acquired along with Javier Vasquez in exchange for Melky Cabrera, Mike Dunn, and a minor leaguer from the Atlanta Braves. A left-hander that you can count on out of that bullpen. There was a time this year that he went 25 consecutive appearances that were scoreless. They have another lefty down there, Royce Ring. Logan has come out and pitched great baseball for the Yankees, an ERA under 2 since the All-Star break.
Adam Lind 0 for 4 against Boone Logan. Ball on the strike. Blue Jays leading 7-5 with one out bottom of the 8th inning. Mark Zebchinski is the pitcher of record. He would improve his record to 3-4 and give him his first win against the Yankees. nasty. 95 on the block.
You bringing that left-hander out of the bullpen, you got one job: get the lefties out, and he has done that this year. He has given up only 15 hits all season long to a left-handed batter.
Pop down the left field line. Alex Rodriguez on the warning track and makes the catch. 2 outs. Well, Joe Girardi's got a lot of arms in his bullpen, and he's going to use them. He has popped out of the dugout. It's already made the call to the pen. If this goes according to the script, it'd be a right-hander. Logan gets his man. Chad Godin will come out to pitch with 2 outs to face Encarnacion. Encarnacion,
the former Blue Jay. This is the season, both of his numbers when he pitched for the Athletics and the Yankees. He was selected by the Yankees back in May, and he's made 29 appearances for for the Yankees. He used to pitch for Toronto. 41 games totally with an ERA of about 6. Fastball slider type pitcher. He has pitched for Tampa Bay. He has been around.
First pitch breaking ball for a strike. Philadelphia Phillies have won tonight. Roy Halladay wins his 21st of the season, a 2-hit complete game. 8-0 win. The Phillies with that win have clinched the National League East. Congratulations.
And it looks like home field advantage throughout the playoffs unless they fall apart.
Yeah, they have a 7-game lead for home field advantage. Fly ball deep right center. Granderson on the run in front of the warning track, makes the catch. Godin comes out of the bullpen and gets Encarnacion to end the 8th inning. The Yankees will bat in the top of the 9th. They'll have to deal with Kevin Gray. Jeter, Swisher, Teixeira. Kevin Gregg comes on to work the ninth. He's looking for his 36th save of the season.
Trots those 35 saves out there, which is good for 5th in the American League. 5th most all-time single season for the Blue Jays. 35 for 40. 56 innings pitched, 50 hits. It's going to be tough because he's got to face the top of the lineup. Derek Jeter steps in against Kevin Gregg.
Jeter, Swisher, and Teixeira, top 3 in the order. First out of the inning, crucial.
First batter efficiency, 39 for 58 for Kevin Gregg. Everybody knows what Derek Jeter's job is right here. See a lot of pitches and make him work.
Big one hopper to Escobar, and Jeter is retired. 1 out. Yankees trail by 2. Swisher's 1 for 3. He's also walked. First pitch strike.
When Kevin Gregg has a couple of days off, his fastball's got a little bit more giddy up to it. He has not pitched now for 3 days. And you can see he's coming out throwing strikes.
Last worked on Friday. Came into that ball game on Friday and struggled with his control through 26 pitches in 2/3 of an inning, and was taken out of the game. Jesse Carlson came on to pick up the save. And you can see he's sharp.
Works quickly. Has done a good job this year against left-handers, keeping that ball away from him.
Popped him up. Shallow center field. Vernon Wells with a long run gets there and makes the catch. 2 outs. Yankees are down to their final out. Tampa Bay has lost to Baltimore. They were shut out 4-0. Brian Mattis, the winning pitcher. Mark Teixeira takes one outside. Two and 0.
The back end of the bullpen for the Blue Jays this year has been good. They actually have more saves than the Yankees do. 42 saves for the Blue Jays, which ties them for the 4th most in the American League. Kevin Gregg, a big part of that.
Fly ball to right. This should do it. Bautista is there, and the Blue Jays win it. Kevin Gregg closes out the 9th inning, his 36th save of the season. John Buck sets a new career high with 19 homers. Vernon Wells hit his 31st, a 3-run shot. All about the bullpen effectiveness tonight and the power of the Blue Jays.
Yeah, and I think Mark Zabchinski really set the tone in this game with those 9 strikeouts that he had in the first 4 innings of the game. He was very sharp early. Turns it over to the bullpen. Talent, Reineke, Carlson, and then Downs finish it off. Cito Gaston's troop now goes to 81 wins.
They have guaranteed themselves at least a .500 season. Tomorrow, with the loss, the Yankees will send CC Sabathia to the mound against Kyle Drabek. We will see you tomorrow night. Thanks for watching.